When I say Peter Jackson, what do you think of?
Oh, Lord of the Rings, hands down.
Lord of the Rings, The Hobbit,
Yeah.
you know? Well, yeah, this is a lot different.
The
Probably.
little bugger bit me. Singer, you've got the bait. There's some Dettol in the Jeep. Zingaya. Oh, shit.
Definitely the most goriest Peter Jackson I've ever seen.
This is probably the goriest movie I've ever seen in my life. And if you have a gorier movie, I'd like to hear it because I don't think it even compares.
So I thought these were called, like uh comedy horrors. Apparently that's it's its whole genre by
It's its whole
itself.
yeah, it's its whole genre of splatter comedy, and I mean,
I
Peter,
said yeah, genre, sorry.
yeah, he's had too much coffee, so
My God.
five, fucking five. Um, but no, so this movie is absolutely wild. It has a cult following, and I'm just gonna say, as far as a party movie, this is probably the best movie you could just whip out and throw on because people will be saying "What the fuck" the entire time. But can you tell us how this movie starts a little bit?
Yeah, sure. So they go into
You're about to
this
hear this shit in
mountain.
10 seconds.
They go they they go into this mountain, man, called Skull Island, and they get this Samaritan rat monkey, all right, which the locals call it the red monkey. And they basically bag it up, come back down, take it off. But apparently, this thing can turn you into a zombie. But they don't call it that, or the living dead. It's just something else.
It's just
I think
something.
maybe they,
It's not
yeah,
even a zombie because you cannot kill it. But
yeah, it's strange. I mean, you got to cut this son of a bitch up into 80,000 pieces and bury it in 50 states. But it's
but then the pieces will come after you later. So
right,
it's
like the intestines and organs and all that shit.
yeah, so the movie follows this guy named Lionel, who is just beridden by his mom. He cannot leave her side. She needs him for everything. And
Lionel! Lionel! There's a beetle.
Hey?
There, under the fridge.
and one day a girl falls into his life, and she like, oh, I want to go to a zoo, and he's like, hell yeah, let's go get this zoo. And then his mom follows him, and this Samaritan monkey, red monkey, rat monkey, which is a product of Skull Island, which ties it into the Kong universe and now Godzilla.
King Kong. Yeah.
So this creature that can turn you into these things exists within the Kong realm. Um, but yeah, the mom gets bit by the rat, and chaos ensues. Rat monkey, and yeah, basically every single person that gets infected, Lionel tries to save. He doesn't want to kill him. He doesn't have the heart. He's too nice of a guy. So he basically stashes these infected peoples in his
In his
basement,
basement.
in his
Yeah.
fucking basement. Um, which is a
I
quite
gotta, I got,
lively group. It's a
what you gotta
very
say, man. He did clean up the basement, all right? Because when he first goes down there, it's like all fucked up and shit, like couches everywhere stacked on top of things. And then, like later on in the movie, you see it's like he sorted it out and chained them up to those couches, said
yeah.
couches.
If anything, this was a productive thing in Lionel's life. I don't think it was a hindrance in any way. He fell in love. He found true love, and he could learn responsibility and cleaning and stuff.
Yeah, that's what I said. It was great. But it was a good movie. I mean, it's definitely something that's going to keep you interested. And just don't eat while you're watching it.
Oh, definitely. Actually, if you really want to fuck with some friends, that's a great idea. Is throw this on and get like some ground beef and throw it in like a cheesy queso with a little bit of salsa. That should be fun. But it's not gonna bode well for them. Don't eat. Watching this movie
Yeah.
alone, I wanted it to be over. I mean that as a compliment. It was so much. There was
It
so
achieved its
much
goal.
gore. There was so much that by the end of the movie, I'm like, there, you can't give me any more. There's no more gore to have. And then they just spill out more, and you're like, okay, all right.
It reaches a climax of gore, man. You know, like the first, like
There
the
is
first,
there is a climax of gore, but there's still a trickle of gore after that climax.
right? And it's like the movie's an hour and 37 minutes, and
It's a long movie.
literally, 37 minutes into the movie, you're gonna start seeing just a shit ton of gore. I
Dude,
mean, before
the-
that, you see some trinkles of some things that are gonna be like, oh, that's disgusting.
Dude,
But
we have to talk about this because this is one of my favorite parts of the movie. It's the beginning of the movie. So they go and get the monkey rat, red monkey rat.
Samaritan red monkey rat, yeah,
Yes, that. And the guy who's trying to get it gets cut. And the guys on the truck see it. They kick him off, and there's just these three dudes over him. They're like, "Sangria!" And they point to the cut on his arm,
and they
then
cut it off.
They cut it off. But then they point to the other arm, and they're like,
Like,
"Sangria!" Chop
Cut
off
it
the other
off.
arm, and then
And then
looked
you got
at his
scratch
head.
on his head.
Sangria! That's the beginning of the movie. Is a guy getting completely dismembered.
Dude, it was
Like-
great. It was hilarious.
It was actually. I really think there's a really fun line of comedy and horror. Like the comedy is so good. There's parts of this movie that will make you literally go, "Oh!" Like you'll laugh and cringe at the same moment. Oh! Like you'll do that
Right.
a lot. Like that. If you had to pick a scene, the scene that made you just like, "Oh," because there's one for everyone in this movie. Maybe 6 for everyone in this movie, maybe 100. But
Yeah, I probably got like 2 that were really like, oh my, oh god. And the first one happens within the first 37 minutes of the movie, and they're just at dinner, you know, or lunch, I suppose, and they're trying to impress these guests for the IWIW or WLWL, whatever.
So Lionel's mother was just bitten, and this is the night after. She's obviously not. She's comically doing horrible, but she's still under this crazy state. Wants to impress these people and convinces Lionel to go ahead and try to as well.
And they're eating custard, okay? And she literally has this big boil on her arm where she got bitten, and she just literally she presses it, and it squirts a big glob into the custard, and the dude's just eating the custard, and he's like, "Oh, it's so good and creamy, just like I like it." And then her fucking ear falls off into the custard, and she eats her ear, and the ladies at the table, man, just like, "Oh, we gotta go." Like, I think we've had enough. And they have to bounce, man, because it was just, oh, it was gut wrenching, bro. I was like,
I just love that even your description. See, if you haven't seen it, you have to see it because it's worse. Like my reaction of him describing it, it's worse watching. When you're watching, you're like, oh man, oh no,
right.
no.
And the next scene that kind of was a little gut wrenching. It might not be for a lot of people, but for me, I just have a thing with like dead bodies and food, and so in the second scene that I'm going to talk about, man, is they got the mother, right? And they're like pumping her full of some green toxic shit. They don't really go into detail. But Peter Jackson directed this movie, and he's in this scene, and he just rolls up, man, and there's a sandwich on her chest, and he just eats the sandwich, and it's all green and shit, and I'm just like, bro, why would you even put it there to begin with? You know, like,
yeah, they were eating sandwiches on the body. That's the best part. So there's just 2 sandwiches,
man.
and Lionel tranquilized the body. So they were trying to do a funeral and get her through the funeral. So because he tranquilized the body, they figured it was dead. They were literally eating on it, but then like they're embalming it, but she's alive, dead alive, whatever the fuck it is. And she's gushing all over the sandwiches.
You're right. Yes, they were embalming the body. Yes, that's what they were doing.
When they walk in, the first thing he does was the thing I was going, please don't do. Like, you see the sandwiches, the goo bushes out on the sandwiches, and I'm like, I hope no one eats that sandwich. And the first thing that happens is someone walks in, Peter Jackson himself runs up and eats the fucking sandwich.
Eats the fucking sandwich. And I'm like,
no. Oh, God.
dude. All right, man. What did you think was the funniest scene in the movie? One of the funniest scenes in the
There
movie.
was okay. All right, I'm gonna go funny here, but it's not my favorite scene. But when he when he tells the dude when they're having the dinner with the dead, I'm just gonna say the dinner with the dead, and the dude with like the jacket, he's like, no, you got to use your spoon. Use your spoon. And then he steps over to the other lady, and then he goes, ooh, and the spoon goes through his head, and like there's brain on the spoon. And he's trying to help the other dead person, and he's just like he's
And
sad. But then another fucking zombie grabs the brain off the spoon, and like
that was the mother, bro. The mother grabbed it. Oh, dude,
it was
so-
one of those moments where I was like, oh.
I absolutely, bro. I enjoyed the scene where the priest comes up and he's like,
The
"I
priest
fight
is-
for the Lord."
That is the best scene in the fucking. So listen,
Devil is amongst us. Stay back, boy. This calls for divine intervention. I kick ass for the Lord.
so this entire movie, you're just getting jabbed with gore and gore and gore, and you're like, dude, there's no end in sight. But then when the father finally sees like the living dead, wherever they are, the dead alive, he's like, his first initial reaction is like, oh, demons! He's
Yeah.
like, fuck yeah!
He's like, "Yeah, the devil has risen."
Yeah, he's like, oh, the devil, but he's like excited. He's like, the devil has risen, and like kicks their fucking ass. This dude was straight Bruce Lee. Like the coolest kung fu scene I've ever fucking seen is in the middle of this.
Yeah,
You
so
have to
long,
wade
dude.
through literal pulls worth of gore just to get to the best kung fu scene you'll ever see.
And then after this, there's more gore.
There's plenty more. Like you can drown in the gore after if you like, but no, dude, there were so many funny moments. There's a scene where there's intestines chasing him, and he drops this talisman, and the intestines are like wrapped around the talisman, and the intestines even have like a little face on the kidney. You know, it's like the two holes, and like, or it might have been the heart, but it looked like a fucking kidney, but it looked like it made a face. And he walked up and just punched it in its little like kidney face to take the talisman. That shit literally made me laugh out loud. I was like, what the fuck? He just decked it in the mouth. But there's so many scenes that were just like, what?
It's an instant classic, man. If you've not seen, a lot of people probably, this movie's 30 years old, guys. Seriously.
Yes. It was
if
made in
you've not-
1992.
If you've not seen this movie, man, you got to give it a chance. You're either gonna fall in love with it,
Or you're gonna absolutely hate it.
You're absolutely gonna hate it. But
I will say this now again, just in case we weren't clear. This is the goriest movie ever made. Okay, just to make that clear.
And it speaks volumes on the gore, man. Trust me.
And volumes is
is
an
like-
understatement.
Yeah, seriously. There's even a scene, man, where because you can't kill these zombies, man. That's what I'm saying. Like, they're not zombies. They can't be shot in the
No.
head and they just drop.
No,
Like-
like you cut off the leg, well, the leg will chase you.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, and the intestines inside the body fall out the body. Now you're fucking
Dude,
having to
dude.
deal with fighting
in
intestines.
essence, the intestines are coming for you. Like there's no win. I don't even know how he got away with it. They burned the house, but there were so many people in that house. So
Maybe that's the only way you can kill them is burn them. You know?
cool. I totally wanted to talk about this. So in the movie, after Lionel's mother's funeral, this pesky uncle stops by, and he's like the worst of the worst asshole. And I swear this dude has herpes. And I don't know if it was intentional or an accident, because when you first see him, there's makeup covering the herpes, but then later on in the movie, there's just more and more shit on his face.
Yeah, dude, I've noticed that.
And
It's like he
it
has one
looked
like right
so
here.
real. It looked
Yeah, he's got
so
like
real.
one right there, and then he's got like two over
Oh,
here, and
yeah.
then one right here. I'm like, holy shit, bro, this dude's really stressed out.
And and it's like, oh my god, it's fucking gross. But no, this guy comes and tries to take the house, and he finds all these bodies at the bottom of the basement, and he tricks Lionel and goes, hey, you know what? I won't call the cops on you if you give me the house and the money. So Lionel's
Yeah,
like, all right.
because Lionel was the sole beneficiary,
Of
and
his
the
mother's death,
uncle,
yeah.
yeah, and the uncle wanted it all, but
Death.
he ends up getting fucked at the end anyway. Like seriously, the mother rips his head completely off of his body like Predator's his ass. Seriously, dude, you see the spine and everything in the shadow come out. I was like,
Oh,
oh
it's
shit.
when the uncle gets turned into something, it's something to see for sure. But anyway, it's more of just an excuse on how to get like 70 people scrunched into this poor house, and that's just a hint at what you see. There's like 70 people in this house that already has like 5 infected, and like a scratch from these things gets you. Now, if you're coming for this movie for accuracy, for like super good movie making, this isn't it. There's scenes in this movie that'll crack you up with how bad they are, but this is a splatter comedy. Okay,
Splatter comedy, yes, and it's totally a B movie, like as
not
B
yeah.
movie as it gets, and but it's so
It's a G
fuck
movie. It should be rated
yeah,
G for gore.
yeah, and it's such a funny movie, and it's
Next level.
genuinely good, dude. It's like if you
It's
haven't
really good.
seen it, you're gonna be interested. You're gonna be like, holy shit, what's gonna happen next? You know?
Dude, this is like, it's a movie you're not gonna get anymore. You're never gonna get anything like this. This is prime 90s go nuts. And Peter Jackson, like, this got him on the scene because it was so controversial. It was a bomb in the box office, but people fucking loved it.
And I would say they don't show titties in the movie, but they do.
They show the biggest titties you've ever seen.
The biggest.
They're the
Titties
biggest
you've ever
titties you've
seen.
ever seen, and probably the thickest, juiciest buns you've ever seen.
Oh yeah, dude, her ass was, god damn, it was huge.
Ooh, fucking insert buns.
But
right there.
like in these movies, man, back in the day, they were known for a lot of nudity and shit. And I was like, man, we're not going to get none of that in this movie. It's just a a splatter comedy, And next thing you know, you see the biggest titties and the biggest
The-
ass you're ever going to see in
Dude,
Hollywood.
Cardi B was in this movie. Okay, Cardi B stepped out. It was actually nuts.
Out of the ground.
Out of the ground. It was crazy. But dude, honestly, if I had friends and stuff that would come over, if I had friends at all, this is a movie I would expose them to. This is a movie that when they're not ready, be like, hey, dude, I got a movie for us to watch. Or, hey, no, come over. We're having a movie night. Just throw this on. You'll be getting what the fucks every 5 minutes. And that actually probably faster. Like, you'll be getting what the fucks as soon as you turn it on. Like, the first thing you see is a King Kong reference, which, by the way, King Kong's like a Peter Jackson is a huge King Kong fan of the original 1930s. So the fact that the Sumerian rat comes from Skull Island and is tied into Kong and Godzilla is fucking awesome. But the beginning of the movie is a fucking joke. Skull Island, this is from King Kong technically.
Yeah, it's a great movie, man. And dude, we got to talk about the baby.
Oh God, we almost missed the baby. It's a good thing to.
Got to talk about the baby, bro. All right, so there's a scene in the movie where two zombies fuck and a baby's born.
That was the most blatant way to put it, but yes,
Yeah,
you didn't sugarcoat. I like how you were hesitant. You were like, well, they fuck. Like you chose the worst word immediately.
I'm sorry, man. I'm a little blunt sometimes, but anyway, they procreate, okay, and they
Yes.
have a little child.
Very
And
quickly.
this child is the ugliest fucking child you're ever gonna see. Sorry, some
No,
babies are ugly.
It is
But
100% the ugliest child you will ever see,
But
for sure.
one thing, it's a zombie baby or dead alive, whatever the fuck these things are. But there's a scene in the movie where he takes this baby out for a ride, okay? And he's in a park full of mothers and shit. And he's paying attention to this mother, and she's like, "Oh, let me play with the baby, and let me
So
give him
he
a
sh-
stuffed animal."
yeah.
And dude, there's a scene where the baby's like trapped in barbed wire in the fucking
Yeah, he's
thing,
like
and
barbed
they're
wire
like-
wrapped around him just so he couldn't get out. And this little bastard still, dude, this is like Chucky on crack. This baby does the most fucked up shit you could imagine. It's next level. Like this
Yeah.
baby, Chucky has nothing on this baby. Now,
baby's ruthless, bro. But the funny thing about this park scene, okay, is you're gonna see two different babies. All right. You're gonna see the baby he beats the shit out of against the fence. He kicks it, he punches it in the face, and these two mothers are
literally.
just these two mothers are just like, oh my God, that's so horrible. And then you see this little baby run away, and then this baby turns in from a baby like this big to like a fucking midget. And then it's just running away, dude.
Oh, every time this baby runs away, the back of him is obviously a midget in a suit. It's
Yeah.
it's the funniest fucking thing. And then when you're actually like he's holding the baby, it's just a baby doll. Like it's so funny. But the things this baby gets up to, look, Chucky has nothing on this baby. I stand by that by far.
And the laugh, bro. The baby's laugh is, oh my God, dude. Every time that baby laughed, I just wanted to fucking punch it in the face.
Dude.
I'm like, dude.
How did he let that go down? How did he
Dude.
let that happen?
But dude, it's funny. Like one of the funniest parts of that scene though is like when he's beating the shit out of the baby against the swing set, and then he like
there's a
throws-
guy.
he's beating it on the ground, and then he's like holding it, and the baby's like, "Meow," and starts laughing. He's like punching it in the face.
And there's just this random guy who's off to the side, and he's like, yeah!
Yeah, he's like, he's all drunk and shit. Got a big bottle
Dude,
of
that shit
whiskey.
cracked
Like,
me.
yeah, beat that
There's
fucking baby.
just
yeah.
some random dude at the park who's cheering for a dude beating the shit out of his kid. He's like, yeah, fucking kid. Like, dude, there's so many things. And, like, this review won't do it justice because there's so many things that will make you just, like, like, you're going to giggle. You're going to laugh. It's fucking
Yeah,
great.
it's inevitable, man. If you don't laugh, you have no sense of humor. This shit is, it's fucking funny, bro. But at the same time, it's supposed to be a horror movie, so you know you're gonna get a mixture of both. But
dude, and like, well, that's the thing is like, this is totally like this will make your mom run out of the room. This is why people tried to put parental advisory on things, like,
oh, speaking of that, my wife walked into it and right in the middle of the dinner scene with the zombies, bro, when the spoon goes in through his head,
yeah,
and the mom grabs the brains off the spoon. She's like, "What the hell are you watching?" I was like, "Oh, this is Dead Alive. We're doing a review on it tonight."
yeah,
She's like,
we're reviewing
"I
this."
I'm not watching this with you." I was like, "So."
Okay, so I got to tell you this. So, I mean, my mom was over, and I told her, I was like, yeah, I'm recording tonight. And she was like, well, what are you doing? And I was like, Dead Alive, and I showed her the clip, and it was that exact clip. But it was the clip where the nurse's head, or the maid's head falls back, and he starts trying to...
The nurse, yeah.
Yeah, and he trying to put the food in the fucking throat. Like, and she's like, oh, no. And I was like, yeah, no worries, Ma. You're gonna...
I totally understand, Mom.
Yeah, I'll call you later tonight. I'll tell you how it was. You know, it was, dude.
Dude, this movie is fucking hilarious, bro. It's hilarious, dude. At the same time, it's fucking gory as shit.
Yeah,
and you're
well,
like,
that's what I
"Oh,
was
that's
saying
funny."
earlier. It's hilarious, but I couldn't wait for it to be over. It's the weirdest feeling. It's like it's such a strange feeling because it's like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god.
Holy yeah, you're like, holy shit. What the fuck was that? Did he really just do that? Oh man, you're gonna make a lot of those faces, trust me.
Dude, the prop work in this movie,
Exceptional, dude. Exceptional.
amazing. You guys were the shit. Whoever you are, would throw up some names at later me, fucking, because these guys they were so good. Now some of them were terrible, but it just kind of made the movie better. In my opinion, like there was parts of this movie that were like, that's so stupid. That's
You're pissing on my mom's grave. That's my mom you're pissing on.
That's my mom you're pissing on. Oh god, dude, she fucked him. Did she not?
Oh, dude, no. She ripped his dick off and then like ripped into his
dude.
chest and like just blood goes everywhere.
Imagine Nightmare on Elm Street, the scene with Johnny Depp when he gets pulled through the bed, except flipped.
Yeah, dude.
She yoinked
yeah.
she fucking, it was, wow.
She yoinked his dick off, man.
And it looked insane. Which, insert a little clip. Boom. It looked insane. It was this movie.
The amount of blood, like he was just laying flat on his stomach, dude. And that
looked like
amount of blood doesn't even exist in the human body. It's like holy shit. I was like, God damn.
It looked like it was the Old Faithful blood coming from his dick. What I mean, it actually ended up being his entire torso. But
Dude, it was intense, bro.
all
Then you
right,
get the priest. I fight for the Lord.
I kick ass for the Lord. Dude, he's the coolest that scene was the coolest fucking scene. I was not ready for it. So I saw this movie like maybe 10 or 15 years ago. I forgot about that. I didn't realize how the priest fight scene is the most legendary fight scene in the 90s. Fuck the Matrix. I don't even know if the Matrix was made in the 90s. Whatever. Fuck it.
It was. Yeah,
Yeah.
late 90s.
Well, this priest scene got overshadowed. It was so good. But this is a tough one. If you had to rate this movie, what would you rate it?
Dude, honestly, man, if I had to rate this movie, I'd probably give it at least a 6.5, 7. Just because it's not a movie for everyone, right? But it's a movie if you want to watch a horror movie that's gory as shit and get a good laugh while you're watching it, this is that movie. You're going to laugh, dude. It's inevitable. You're going to be like, holy
No
shit.
matter what, there's a scene in this for everyone.
You're gonna reach every emotion you can possibly reach in your body. You're gonna be like, oh, great. It's like everything, all your emotions are just
Dude,
gonna
that was
be
me
so
the whole time. I was like, oh, like it was like a gruntal approval. Like, oh no, oh yeah, no. Why are you doing that? Stop. Keep going.
right, dude.
Stop.
But it's such. Look, man, 6.5, 7, easy.
And look, I'll even go the other end, and I'm gonna go ahead and say 8, just because it's for the splatter comedy genre, which I don't know how fast that genre is, but I know it's there. This is it. It's a different kind of movie. Okay, that's all I can say. This is a different kind of movie.
It's unlike anything you're ever gonna watch. I mean, seriously, it's a movie you're gonna watch with some of your friends. And
I
you're
don't
gonna be
know how
like,
Peter
"Holy
Jackson got
shit."
famous. I don't know how they didn't throw him in jail, because this shit was insane. This shit was
Just imagine Peter Jackson went from making this to your well-known Lord of the
the
Rings.
rings.
Okay,
Yeah,
like,
yeah. And the
and then
Hobbit.
when people think Peter Jackson, they think Lord of the Rings. But when you go take a look at his earlier movies, this is what you're gonna get, and
Yeah.
you're like, holy shit, dude! And man, look, the dude was born on October 31st. What do you expect? I mean, Halloween, it's his specialty,
It was
man. You know, like,
obviously a part of, and a lot of people might not know that about Peter Jackson. But well, we were talking about this earlier. There's so many of these. There's so many of these movies from Peter Jackson, but this one is known for being the gore fest that it is.
and in
Um,
some countries, it's not even Dead Alive. It's
Oh, yeah, actually,
Brain Dead.
in all countries but the United States, it's Brain Dead. So Dead Alive
Yeah.
is just the name of the United States. And there's actually an uncut version that has another 17 minutes in it that
Holy shit!
that apparently they were forced to take out. So it's like, this movie was bad. It was so bad that they took shit out, and even after they took shit out, holy
still
shit.
fucking-
Well, you just imagine, like, what else could they have done? Well, they probably did whatever you're imagining. Like, Peter Jackson, you're the fucking shit. Timothy Baum, you're the shit. He was Lionel. Diana Penoliver, she was
Yeah,
Paquita.
here's the girlfriend.
My
Paquita.
Paquita. No, mi Paquita. I'm sorry, that was weird.
She did great too, man. Everybody in this movie did fucking
Look,
good. Like,
Look, this movie has
even the uncle, being
This-
the total douchebag he was, did great job.
this movie has everything you would ever want. It has Kong. It has rats. It has monkeys. It has zombies. It has baby zombies. It has priests that fight kung fu. It has what's another thing, dude? It just has fucking lawnmowers. If you like lawnmowers, this is your fucking movie.
Dude, that lawnmower was lethal, bro.
Has knife scenes. Do you remember when the crazy herpes uncle cut up all those zombies?
Yeah.
What the hell was that? They have whatever that was. They have giant
Super
monsters.
fast-
They have
fast
tiny
chef moves,
monsters.
man.
Dude, it
Yeah.
has everything you could ask for in a horror.
It even has indigenous tribes, man.
if you're one that likes the inclusion of indigenous people, I I don't even think they're indigenous, but they pretend they are. And if you're woke enough for that, welcome to this. If you're woke, you should watch this movie. 100%, you would love it. Everyone gets ripped apart equally.
Yeah. And he's totally being sarcastic because you woke fuckers don't like that shit. But you should totally give it a chance.
Hey, if you're woke, watch this. This is what we used to have.
Yeah. This was the classics, bro. The
Well, dude,
classics.
I'm gonna go ahead and throw down the. We need to get one of those. We need like the director cut things. I'm gonna get. Whoa. Anyway,
What the fuck was that, man?
Just a little Jedi. No, I'm gonna go ahead and throw the chopper down. I throw this movie an 8. You do a 6.5.
7 solid.
Do a 7 solid. I'll
7
meet.
solid.
Let's just meet in the middle at a 7.5.
7.5.
And 7.5. And that's with, if you're a gory horror fan, this movie's a 10. Okay? If you like horror,
Totally.
if you're a fan of the oldies and the classics, this movie's a 10 out of 10, 100%. We're giving that the 7 literally for the discretion. Because like I said, couldn't wait for this movie to end. But it was, you're waiting for every moment. So, but there's that moment where I was like, oh, I'm so stressed. Because so much shit's happened. How many legs did I just witness? Too many bones. Okay, they're all just okay. Like, this movie's shit. Watch it if you haven't. I think that's all I gotta say. Any ending remarks?
Until next time, boys and girls. This is the Shit Show. I'm Charlie Shit. This is Matt Shit. And we're gonna continue giving you the shittiest reviews.
Dude, fuck yeah. Oh my god. But sorry, a cat just flew by.
Damn cat. That cat's a nuisance, man.
Gonna drop kick some cats. Every time we do some stupid shit, we never get it. So,
And it comes out great.
every single time. All right.
It all depends, man. He's directed a lot of movies, but produced a lot of movies too. I gotta say, one of my favorite Peter Jackson films is The Frighteners. Drink 3 cups of coffee, motherfucker. I'm sorry, I'm on cup 5. You said
Dude, I'm
you
putting
said
this
we
shit in at the end. This is gonna be a blooper.
you said we had to be more energetic. I'm trying to get more energy. My B12's low, man.